I'm your host Paul, and this is the very first episode of in-game content, and this is basically a show where we talk about everything going on in the gaming world each and every week. And kicking off this week of gaming news is some sad news in the world of gaming. As it turns out, one of the most anticipated games, Star Wars 1313, is going to get abandoned and probably never see the light of day again. And this was the fear of a lot of fans when LucasArts was bought out by Disney. But there was hope that they were still going to make the game when they were in the talks of making a Boba Fett spin-off movie, that they'd probably make a Boba Fett game. But now that looks very unlikely. And I think that's kind of sad, because when you look back at E3 in 2012, when they showed a demo of the game, it had great cinematic gameplay graphics, it had great Star Wars-like atmosphere, and it even had some Uncharted mechanics. But you know, I wouldn't really lose hope, because its history has taught us anything. When it comes down to Disney and making money, if there's money to be made, I guarantee you they're going to make it. Talking about money to be made, I'm not sure how much money Sony's going to be making with its PlayStation 4 as long as it's going through error problems. It's been reported that this error has been corrupting save files for a lot of the games on the PlayStation 4. Even one user reported losing over 30 hours of progress. Sony representative was telling Eurogamers that they are aware of the problem and they are investigating it. But you have to imagine, if they don't fix this problem soon, they're going to have a lot of unhappy gamers on their hands. Now let's switch over and talk about some more informational news as we talk about the upcoming DLC for The Last of Us called Left Behind. This time around will be based more on exploration and less about combat. So unlike the main game, there will be pretty much hardly any combat at all in this game. In replace of it is more use of the interesting stealth system. And this time around it's going to be a little different. This time around you can get bandits and infected to fight each other. So an example of this is you're playing as Ellie and you may see a group of 3 bandits walking around, and you may notice there's some infected not that far away. So you as Ellie would throw a glass bottle towards the bandits, alerting the infected to the area, and just watch them duke it out. And the game will be more around a mall setting where you and Riley get to see what people did on the post-apocalyptic world, and you also get to see more playful side of Ellie as she connects with Riley really a lot, bringing across good friendship. But if you beat Last of Us, you know there's only one true way this can end, so I hope you're ready for the fails, as this game is slated to come out February 14th. Now let's end the day off with some more post-apocalyptic news as we talk about DayZ and the creator Dean Hall and his upcoming projects for the game. He says in 2014 he's planning on adding more game-like abilities, like the ability to hunt and build camp. So basically, if you find a little safe area for yourself, you set it up, build a little fort, or you can make it your base of operations. So something similar to like what they did in The Walking Dead when they invaded the jail cell and made it their home. You can do something like that. Also, you have a bow and arrow that you can use, which will be more of a primitive weapon. There will be a lot more primitive weapons you can use. But I think this is actually a good change of pace, since you won't have high automatic military weapons that you can use, since the respawn rate for those are going to get turned down immensely. And then lastly, you'll be able to use vehicles such as cars, helicopters, and small aircraft that you can use to drive around or fly around. But they seem to be more of a hassle than they're worth, since there are going to be more resources that you need to use to build these things or keep the upkeep on them, and the maintenance is going to be very complex. So it might be a little difficult. Personally, me, I'll just drag a car back to my camp, fix it up, and then run down everyone I hate. But that's just personally me. But through all the talk of this, it really sounds like DayZ is going to be a very good post-apocalyptic game, and it's really shaping up to really feel like a real-life simulator of it. And now we're going to end this segment with our question of the week. And this is basically a segment where I ask you, the viewers at home, a question because I just want to hear what you think on the subject. And our question of the week for this week is about the whole Microsoft and Machinima controversy. If you haven't heard about it, this is basically where Microsoft is paying Machinima, or they did a deal with Machinima to ask them to promote their Xbox One in a positive light. So Machinima is basically getting their YouTubers with incentive $3 on CPM for a 30-second clip and a 30-second mention of how Xbox One is a good product. And a lot of people are up in arms about this because one of the things about the deal was that they cannot mention that they're getting paid for this, and it felt like it threatened the integrity of a YouTuber. And it's different sides saying different things. There's one side saying that Microsoft did do the deal, but they didn't add the $3 incentive. And there's another side saying that Machinima added the $3 incentive, but they said that YouTubers can talk about them getting paid for it. They just can't talk about the enclosed agreement and all the details of the agreement. But they can say, oh, Microsoft is paying us to promote their Xbox One in this light. So I just want to hear, what do you think about this? Does this change how you look at YouTubers? Do you think that Xbox is bad for doing this, or do you think Machinima is bad for doing this? Personally, I don't care, because there's plenty of people on YouTube and on the internet that will tell you if a product sucks, it sucks. And we here at In-Game Content and the superhero nerds will tell you just that. So personally, I don't care, but I would love to hear what you think on the matter, so please leave your comments down below, because you may agree, you may disagree, you may say, Paul, shut your stupid face, because you don't know what you're talking about. And lastly, before I let you go, I want to just recommend some videos for you to watch after you're done watching our video. Our first video is the leaked Titanfall demo of the alpha version, which looks pretty good. I mean, even though the graphics ain't up to par, the game looks really good and it makes me real excited to see when it comes out. Secondly, I'm going to have to tell you about the Bryan Singer little video that he posted on Twitter of X-Men Days of Future Past. Even though it's like 15, maybe 20 seconds long, it's just enough to get you excited for X-Men Days of Future Past. And then lastly is the Left Behind trailer. I know you might notice that name because we talked about it earlier in the video. Check it out. You know, if you're trying to get a little hype before it comes out, check that video out. It definitely will do that for you. Anyway, I'm your host, Paul. This is In-Game Content. I hope you like the show, and if you do, please go down and like and subscribe. It makes us very happy if you do here, and I will see you next week.